Good afternoon, everyone. The cover is here on the job program on Just Online TV. Our program Just Politics. Today, I have with me the first woman on the program. She's a lawyer and a civil rights advocate. She's the publicity secretary of the Young Progressive Party, the YPP. I think she will allow me to introduce to you Barrister Titilope Anifowishi. You're welcome on the show, man.
Well, thank you very much. So I'm the first female here. Wow, it's groundbreaking.
Alright, that's not planned. I think it was pre-planned, but we didn't know about that.
But I'm happy.
We're happy to.
I'm happy to be the first. And I hope I make a lot of sense as the first.
I wish it. I know you will.
I hope so.
Alright, let's start the conversation today from your position, your antecedents, and what you've been targeted to talk first. People like you believe that Nigeria has been failed by both sides. I mean, the two major political parties in the country. I think that you could create an alternative for the whole country. And you are predominantly youth. And looking at you, even looking at the name Young Progressive Party. So can you tell us how you come from? Because if I'm not mistaken, you've been part of a lot of political struggles, and that means you have the knowledge and the experience for you to say that, hey, I'm leaving the ruling party. I believe we need something new. Can you tell us how you come about joining it first?
Okay. Well, for me, right from when I grew up to realize what is right and what is wrong, there's just one major thing for me. I always would want to or would do things that would replicate what my father would do if he was in my situation. That's it for me. And so I was a member of PDP in 2012, 2013, I was a member of PDP. To being a member of APC 2015, to joining YPP, it's just a search for the search for that particular satisfaction that when I stand before God, I'll be confident to say, Ya Allah, I was part of that movement for God and for humanity. So that's what got me to YPP.
Alright, let's start with how would you put it? You were a member of the PDP in 2012, 2013?
Yes, I was a member of the PDP.
And in 2015 you were a member of the APC?
Yes.
And APC unsat the PDP in 2015?
Now, remember?
Yes,
in Kwara.
And I'm talking about Nigeria as a whole.
No. See, Kwara is a very, very peculiar political structure. Kwara has a very peculiar political structure. When I was in PDP, and so many other people, the likes of Shafi Gold and all of that, we, as at that time, what we were clamoring for back when we were in PDP is the same thing we're clamoring for now. A Kwara that is devoid of political slavery. A Kwara where leaders are actually yearning, aspiring, and working for the good of the people. And it's still the same mantra of the PDP I was in 2012, 2013, the APC, and then YPP.
And what I'm trying to say is that you have the experience of being in the opposition, fighting for what you believe in, and now you find yourself in the way where you have to. Let me say, when you were in PDP, there were a lot of older men. When you were in APC, there were a lot of older men that you were. And to an extent, they give you the role of the youth to play. But being in YPP, you will be one of the movers and shakers of politics and policies in your party. And what are you bringing to the table? How do you think that will feel when you have very little number of people to tell you what to do?
Well, you see, Young Progressive Party is, yes, young, but it's not young with regards to, oh, you have to be without white hair for you to be a part of a Young Progressive Party. That's not it. You see, the young there in our context is young at heart, young in ideas, young in aspirations, not you must be a young person. Not necessarily you shouldn't have white hair. So, see, it's history. And right now, we have seen that at this point in time, you know, when we're younger, they'd say, we are the leaders of tomorrow. Well, no, we're not the leaders of tomorrow anymore. We are the leaders of today. So, Young Progressive Party is a wake-up call. It's a movement. It's a political movement that is going to take Kwara. Yeah, let me be contextual here. It's going to take Kwara to the promised land. Young Progressive Party is not a fight against the older generation. But what we're saying is, in Young Progressive Party, we are going to employ those 21st century ideas, those 21st century style. Because, I mean, Nigeria is really analog in everything. But every young person is what? Is forward thinking. So, I just want you to be rest assured that when we say young progressive, we're not saying, oh no, we are against the old people.
When I say every young person, that means you're generalizing, but I don't want to go into that. I know we have limited time here. So now let's start with Equality That Works For All. You were in the APC in the last general election. You fought for Equality That Works For All. And I think within 2 years you left the APC to the YPP. Can you tell us why you left from the APC to the YPP?
I came here as YPP policy secretary, so I'll talk about myself. Same problem here. Most people know legal ego. They don't know Titties of Brand Influence. Some people know Titties of Brand Influence. They don't know Titties of Brand Influence is legal ego. You see, when I was in the APC, I was in the APC because I was genuinely passionate about the APC. I mean, I was even the information officer of the APC. So I was in charge of all of APC's social media. It was not on Kwara for the national headquarters. We saw the NSAS protest. Today, if I give you 5,000 naira, be honest and be sincere, if I give you 5,000 naira, would you be able to afford the same thing you could afford 2 years ago?
We all know what the economy
is. No, you answer. It's a yes or a no. Would you? Would you? It's a yes
depends on what I'm getting.
Okay, it's a yes or a no. Would you?
It depends on what I'm getting.
This chair I'm sitting on, can you buy this chair at the same price you bought it last year?
Obviously no.
Can you buy this this camera at the same price?
It's obviously no.
It's obvious. So, the suffering of the average Nigerian is obvious, it's visible to the blind, it's lucid, it's crystal clear. We don't need to paint it white or black. Nigeria is getting worse and worse every day under this present administration. And for me, I'm a Muslim. My name is Tawakkaltu. I stand by God. And for me, it's a question of what did you do as a part of the stream? Did you sit at the bank of the stream praying that the fish shouldn't die of dirty water? Or did you try to change the water of that stream? So I answered the question. I won't sit at the bank of the stream praying that the fish should not die. Instead, I would try to make an effort to change the water. And that's why I'm in YPP.
Okay, now let's talk about YPP. We've talked about you as a person. Let's talk about YPP as a group of people. In 2019, you came up with, your party came up with a presidential candidate that attended the debates, read out his policies and everything. We saw everything crystal clear on TV. And now, I don't think YPP presented a candidate in Kwara I could remember of in 2019. Now, a lot of people criticize YPP that you were federal-minded, too much federal-minded. The party was federal-minded now. How do you try to, what are you doing to domesticate the party in the state?
Our efforts to domesticate the party is why I'm here. If you do not recognize us as a viable third sector that is ready to put out the indolent leaders, I won't be here sitting. You just hear about me, I'm like, I'm a willy. So, we aren't federal-minded. We are the Tatos. And we are really here for business. For Kwara, for YPP, in Kwara State, we are here to actually right the wrong. No jokes, no shenanigans, no jabu and all that. Now, take a look at the people, the persons who you can attach to YPP. Take a look at them. Their personalities who aren't out for social media prominence. Their personalities who aren't out for the naira notes that is shared in all other parties or wherever political movement. For YPP, it's service to God and humanity. It's service for the people. It's progress for the people of Kwara. And don't worry, it's not too much talk. It's about action. You know what happened 2 weeks ago? You saw the number of people who decamped from APC to YPP in Kwara North. Yeah? In coming days, you will see more and more and more of that. And for us, apart from the ballot revolution, there is the word politics with value. Not politics of boxing ring. Not politics of Aniba. Politics with value. And that's what YPP in Kwara stands for.
The last time I interviewed your chairman, the YPP chairman, he talked about YPP not being in existence in 2019, but believed that the way to put out the powers that be then was to join forces with the Otoge mantra back then. And now you're back. Are you coming with the kind of Otoge idea?
What is Otoge? Otoge is not for a political party. Otoge was coined as a movement for the people. It was used for the will of the people. Yeah? YPP is a ballot revolution. You don't see, it's not, we don't need to fight to actually make things work. For us, we believe in the ethos of the rule of law. To make things work in a democratic setting, you need to vote. So, for YPP, we are going to take advantage legally of the elections.
Let me say, legally, I think you understand the word better than I do. But let's go like this. You work for this government, and you don't believe that this government is working for the people. But when you go out, see a lot of things.
Be sure to use the ED. Worked.
You worked.
Thank you.
I'm not even talking about this government.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about that you were part of the forces that brought this government to power. Your personality, your group, and everything. Now, you believe that the government is not working for the people, but it might not be the same on the streets. Some people are there saying the government is doing it right. The government reel out a lot of achievements on a daily basis.
Well, I think you brought in some inconsistency there. Because I asked you, this year, with the price change, I asked about the camera. I asked about, if I give you 5,000 naira now, you would, 1,000 naira, 1,000 naira that you used to use to buy soup and all that, you can't afford, you can't use that same 1,000 naira to buy something. So, of course, the different angles to things. When you look at this, my hand from this angle, you may be seeing something else. From this angle, you may be seeing something else. But ultimately, it's salute populi. It's about the highest number of population, the highest number of thoughts is what will prevail. And right now, I mean, look at statistics. Look at statistics. Tell me about the rate of unemployment between 2020 to 2021.
That is almost everywhere.
Tell me about the number of people who have died in Nigeria between 2020 and 10. Is it everywhere? No, tell me. No, let's be honest. Tell me. No, I'm not continue now. You know,
this is a social issue.
So facts. So no, not anywhere.
Nobody.
Let's make use of facts and figures.
No government will be happy.
So what is the essence? Sorry. So what is the essence of a government if you can't control? If you can't take control of happenings? It says nothing but incompetence. It says nothing but incompetence.
Every achievement comes
insolence.
with process.
Okay, I'll ask you a question. How many bills have been sponsored by the Kwara State House of Assembly? How many bills have been sponsored? Now, add the number of House of Representative members in the House of Rep today. Of course, all of them are APC. Add all of them together. Now, add the number of bills that has been sponsored by all of them. Is it up to 15? No, let's be honest. Is it up to 15? No, why are you why are you in the House of Reps? Why are you a legislator? What is the foremost job of a legislator?
You might not sponsor a bill and do more oversight.
Okay, oversight. Now tell me, what is oversight? How exactly do you influence the lives of the people as a legislator? Is it by buying them keke napep, erolota? And that is what YPP is coming to change.
But why? Let's talk about the mind of the people. What about the people? What about what the people are used to?
Is it about what the people are used to, or about what will move the people forward? About what will take the people to prosperity? Okay, let me ask you a question. Were we used to Facebook? Were we used to Facebook before Mark Zuckerberg brought Facebook? Were we used to Twitter before Jack brought Twitter? We are talking here and the world can listen to me. Were we used to it before? That is what we call leadership. Leadership is about management. When we have people who do not have foresight, when we have people who do not even know the genuine aspiration of the people they lead, when we have people who do not care about the future, when we have people who do not think about sustainability, the current situation of Nigeria, the current situation we have in Kwara is what we will have. Lack of foresight, lack of dream, lack of knowledge of sustainability, lack of knowledge of leadership. I could go on and on and on, and I will conclude by saying that these are the things that YPP is coming to change.
My able barrister, let me tell you that you've talked so much like a lawyer, not like a politician. But a lot of people will ask you that we have always listened to a whole lot of promises, fine promises with good policies, but the problem has always come with the implementation. People are tired of listening to what and the how and the when.
First, how should a politician sound? Kima so Yoruba?
No,
wait. Kima so Yoruba, I mean Kima Tabon, or Kima wa realistic. How should a politician sound? For one, and then you ask me about the how. The how is simple. Vote for candidates. That's why people will bring. How? You can't see. If I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do. You won't see it until when you give me the chance to. That is the how. It's so simple.
Some people will tell you we've given a lot of people chances and this where we still are.
And the beauty of it is simple. Look at how short I am. Look at how young I am. I got the position of YPP's publicity secretary because YPP believes that I can do it. Not because I have some father or some uncle or some name or maybe somebody knows somebody. In YPP, it's about capacity. It's about content. It's about what you can do, not who you know. Can I be in APC and be standing here representing them? That is why we are YPP. Recognizing, identifying the content, the capacity, the aspiration of young people, of parents. Well, you are not in YPP, so you wouldn't know.
I beg to disagree.
You are not in YPP.
Let me read out my facts. The current government in Kwara State has a lot of youth, a lot of women, when we talk about gender, we talk about age. This government has been all-encompassing, all-inclusive. So I want to believe that we're talking about the age and then don't let us go to the issue of capacity now. We have a lot of youths in this government. We have the youngest commissioner, the youngest
excuse me. We've had the youngest commissioner. The governor didn't have, I don't know, is it that the governor's team were not sound or aware of the law before they made an appointment? Is it that they didn't know what the law is before they made an appointment? See, it's not about having good intention. It's about knowing when to and what to. So, what is the essence of doing things the right way when you don't even go about it the right way? Now, when you take position as a leader, it's not for you to work with your own initiative alone. It's for you to, before you make decisions, look around. How many times have we faulted the Kwara State House of Assembly for not following due process with doing things? How many times? So for me, it's not about what this is doing or what that is doing. It's about doing it the right way. And for me, I do not have issues with any personality, but for me, I know as a fact that, you see, if you haven't been outside a farm, outside your father's farm, you will presume and assume that, oh my God, my father's farm is the biggest. But we have been within this country and outside this country. We have been in different states across the country. And so we know what good governance entails. We know what good governance should be. And we know what good governance is. And I can categorically tell you that if only If only, if only, if only. I mean, Kwara will be a better place. And I'm really dreaming and hoping and praying that Kwara will be a better place some days. But
Barrister, let's talk about this. Talking about the picture you painted. Like, you've not been to another person's father's farm. But Kwarans or Nigerians will tell you that we've been to a lot of farms. Been to the PDP's farm, been to the APC's farm. What if you call me and with all this, okay, now let me paint the picture.
You said what if? You said what if?
I'm talking about the if.
I can't talk about the future. I
Okay.
can't talk about the future,
Okay.
but I can talk
We
about
can
what
predict-
YPP wants to do, what YPP can do, and what YPP will
Okay,
do.
I'm
and you can
I'm
only
just telling
know
you
that
the
when
mind-
people vote for YPP.
I'm sitting here representing an average Korean.
Even me, I'm sitting here representing an average
Let
Korean.
me I'm coming from different angle. And now let me paint this picture. Before this APC, not only you left, we still have people in the party that do not agree with the current administration. What if your own ideology, the same thing? What if people start experiencing the same thing when you come in? You have fine policies, and then somebody comes out to say that I didn't send them when they were on the radio. I didn't send her when she went to just even on live TV to campaign, to do all those things, to show you, show all this.
Well, you know what? Sincerely speaking, it's not my business if they are fighting APC or something. But all I want to say is, it would have been really beautiful if the fight. I mean, I don't have any business with APC. Really, I don't have any business with APC. I'm concerned about YPP.
But really, I would have responded to you if the fight you're talking about in APC is about policy.
Because YPP for us, it's all about policy. So right now, I can't talk about APC.
Let's talk policy.
I can't talk about the APC
Let's
because
talk policy.
I can't dwell too much on the APC because I'm here as the publicity secretary of YPP, and I'll be glad to talk so much more about
You
my
are
own
here
political
as
party.
the publicity secretary of Young Progressive Party.
Thank you very much.
You are a political party. That's the vehicle you have to ride to power. And then going by the same thing, APC is also a political party. That is a vehicle some people rode to power, and it's now collapsing. And people really are confused of where to turn. So I'm just trying to tell you a picture that are you promising the people that if your party gets power, we will not experience the same thing?
What is the foremost purpose of a political party?
Is you a politician now, no? You can tell me.
You just call me. Yeah, I'm a member of YPP. Why are you calling me a politician?
You have to be a you have to
I'm
be
a member of YPP.
Okay.
I'm an advocate of politics with value. We do politics in value.
Okay,
in YPP.
you
So I'm in YPP.
you are politically savvy. You can tell me that.
Yes. YPP is a thought force. YPP is a thought force. The thought force that will take Kwara to the promised land. No, I'm not here for some advertisement. In YPP, we don't bicker. So if people in APC aren't satisfied with whatever it is that is happening, talk. But for YPP is open and ready to move Kwara to a better place in line with the rule of the law, in line with genuine empathy for the aspiration of the people.
Thank God you've been into NGOs before.
No, not before. I am into NGO. I'm a non-profit consultant.
NGOs.
No, I've never been involved in politically
What I'm saying is, well, please let me retract that, please. I mean that NGOs that has a lot to do with politics and with governance. Advocates of good governance. That's what I mean when I say
okay, you mean civil society
organizations. Thank you very much. And the thing is this: you guys, you did a lot, and now one of the major problems is that let's talk about policy. A lot of people have accused this government of a lot of things, and this issue of the bomb that the government. Let's talk about policy now. The bond has been causing hues and cries on the streets, online, everywhere. The government seems to be at the defense every time, ready to defend themselves. And a lot of people from the opposition, from the CSOs, even from within the party of the government, have always been saying, oh no. Some people are like, don't even take the bond, we have the money. So people are like, we are not against the bond. It's about the process. So can you tell us the view of white people?
You know, it took me quite how many days to. I was trying my best to, you know, read about it. I really wanted to know the thoughts and opinion of so many people. And that is the problem. One of the biggest problems of this current APC-led Kwara State government is, I think there is too much, I mean, there is this urge to do things, you know, there is lack of transparency. That lack of transparency is the biggest problem, the biggest bane of this current administration. All over the world, America, UK, governments, they take bonds, private, public, they take bonds for the good of the people. But however, why would you, it's just like, I want to cut off your hair, you know, I want to cut off your hair, and I did not inform you before I cut it off. Who am I to cut your hair? Who am I to cut off your hair without informing you about it?
So who's cutting whose hair?
Huh?
Who's cutting whose hair?
Is the government wanting to take a bond for the sake of the people without informing the people genuinely?
We have representatives and they have been informed, duly informed.
Sorry, who are the representatives?
The House of Assembly members.
The Cross House of Assembly members. Those who barely passed bills, those who convened and approved us in how many hours?
They do a lot of oversight.
Huh?
They do a lot of oversight.
Really? I mean, I'm on here right now, and whenever I think about the Cross House of Assembly, I'm always embarrassed. Personally, as a Kwara, I am always embarrassed. You see, I think the Cross House of Assembly needs to go on orientation, on lawmaking and legislative process. They really need to. It's okay for the political party, you know, the members of the House of Assembly and that of those, the executive and the it's okay for them to be in the same political party. But can there be a level of seriousness, quote and unquote? Can there be some show of competence? Now, there was a bond. Was there any public hearing?
No, whatsoever.
There was no public hearing. How long did it take the House of Assembly to pass it, to approve it? 35 billion. So it took the State House of Assembly 24 hours to peruse through the reasonability of a 35 billion bond. Think about it.
Let me tell you a story.
I'll be glad to hear.
In 2018, during Bolazaki's Senate presidency, the federal government withdrew some money from the excess crude account to pay for Tucano aircraft. And there was a lot of huge user price. The money did not go through due process and a lot of things. But now we are getting the Tucano aircraft. I think about 3 years later, we are getting, maybe the government might have the power to override them even if they refuse to do it, and they were like, okay, maybe it might not be something complex. The money might be huge, okay, let me give you an
money might be huge. You're talking about 35 billion, not million.
We have a government in this state that requests for 100 billion bond. I can tell you the state.
Hello, we're talking about the present.
So I'm talking
I'm talking about the present right now. I'm talking about the present right now. I'm talking about today. I don't have, you know, yes.
I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about.
You made a reference to what year, with regards to the federal government.
The pay, and it was for the people, and now we are seeing the effect. We are getting out to come into the United States.
If we are going to do it like that, let's not even have democracy again. No, because that is totalitarianism, that is dictatorship, that is autocracy, not democracy.
Are you telling me you don't believe in the hand justifying the means?
What hand in a democratic system? This is democracy. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. For the people, of the people, by the people. So far, the people of Kwara, the money they pay as their tax money is being used to fund the government. So far, people went out on the day of election to cast their vote. So far, they did all of that. Then the government is accountable to the people.
That means the people has entrusted their destinies to the people.
To the hands of the governor. And then, wait, if indeed we are doing that, let's not have, I said, let's just have totalitarianism, autocracy, and dictatorial. Yeah, let's have it. No, let's have it. Let's have it, if that is it.
Barrister, let me tell you, let me just say that. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people is the ideology of Abraham Lincoln, who was born about 1,000 years or even after.
Yet we are still practicing
If the
democracy.
if 1,000
He
years
was
before
born
the after democracy
1,000
was
years,
born.
and we are still practicing democracy.
No, what I want to say is that that's his own ideology. Maybe some people have the democracy today. We have a lot of democracy. I mean, monarchical
May I ask you?
democracy.
May I ask you? What is the essence of the law? Is the law made for the people, or the law is made for the nation? You know, there are two different concepts here. If the law is the law made for the people, or is the law made for the nation, for the society? Just answer me. If you answer me properly, if you answer me, then we'll proceed.
No, let's take it this way. The House of Assembly now, not the executive.
Yeah.
No, the governor has done his own part. It's the National Assembly that didn't defeat. Okay, we can do this within 48 hours. Let's just do this and get it back.
Thank God, I said it already. I believe that because House of Assembly, they need to go on proper training on what a legislative arm should be and how a legislative arm should perform. I believe so. And as for the executive too, they need to learn what is called transparency and accountability.
The only governor that has invited EFCC to investigate is
the only governor that has. So how many political persons has EFCC indicted? This same bond we are talking about, a company was registered how many months before the bond was raised? For me, I don't like I don't like bickering. I like to talk on facts. So until that time, when we get the facts, we can talk about it. But hello, I believe that the state government needs to go and get on what accountability and transparency.
No, I think that's a good place to leave it. And the state government needs to learn what accountability means. I think I'll say thank you very much for your time. Abdulkadir Isaac, once again, thank you very much for your time, our viewers. Do have a lovely day.
How many join that will I get after this just event something?
Please, can I go?
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for honoring our call.
You're most welcome.
We appreciate it.